Oh my gosh, it's good to be here, you guys. It's nice to be in a yoga studio and have the women staring at me for a change. Weather was kind of nice today. I rode over here on a motorcycle. We got any other motorcycle riders? Hell yeah, my man. I'm glad I'm not the only badass in this yoga studio now. Dude, I always feel like such a badass when I'm riding a motorcycle, you know, with the radio on and the wind in my hair and my arms around my dad. That's my dad. Does bum me out a little bit when he wears a shirt that says, "If you can read this, my non-binary son fell off." Hey, tell me if you guys agree with this. I think it's weird that the expression "suck my dick" is another way of saying "fuck you." Because to me, that should be another way of saying, like, look, man, I need a favor. Right? But then it'd be like something that's good for you, but unpleasant for them a little bit. Like, hey, man, can you help me move this weekend? You would really be sucking my dick. One of my friends was like, you might want to think about that joke a little bit. Some people might see it as heteronormative because of the way it frames blowjobs, so just to be safe, I did run it by my gay friends in the group chat. Important, right? They didn't think the joke was offensive, but none of them know each other, so they were pretty offended that I put them all in a chat together. Renamed the chat Gay Focus Group, but still wasn't as bad as the time I put all my black friends in a chat together. And no, man, they were both pretty pissed. Also, one of my black friends is gay, so he was like, how many of these group chats are going to put me in, dude? But he's also autistic, so at least one more. My wife is a mental health therapist. Look, I used to think my wife became a therapist to help people, but I realized recently, like, she's not noble, she's nosy. Okay? She got into therapy for the same reason she loves watching reality TV. That's all it is. The other day I heard her end a Zoom session with one of her patients. She's like, we're out of time, but we'll pick this up again in next week's episode. Session. Sorry, next week's session. She's got every flavor of reality TV represented in her patient roster. She's got a hoarder, she's got a teen mom, she's got a rich wino housewife. And I'm the Andy Cohen she gossips with about it at the end of the day. She's like, you want to hear the tea? I'm like, sure, that's a cute way to say HIPAA violation. Sure. It's not tea, it's trauma. It's none of my business. She's like, relax, it's anonymous. I'm like, is it? Because you told me that one of your patients got court-mandated anger management for destroying a pride display at a Target in Saugus, Massachusetts. That feels pretty Googleable. Don't think you're protecting his identity. My wife, we've been together 16 years now. It's kind of crazy. And it's kind of crazy to see how much we've matured together over the years. Like back in our hard partying college days, one time I had to take my wife to the ER because she drank way too much, and I was pretty sure she was going to have her stomach pumped. So before we were even thinking about getting married and having kids, anything like that, she's so drunk and so sick on the ride to the hospital that she's literally convinced she's going to die. She kept being like, I'm going to die. I'm like, you're not going to die. She's like, I'm going to die. I'm like, you're not going to die. She goes, name our daughter after me. The fuck would that work? What daughter are you talking about? You're not even pregnant. If you are, then we really need to talk about your drinking. This is fucked up. I think what she was trying to say is that if she died and I remarry and have a kid with someone else, I should name that daughter after her. But feels like a pretty big ask for my new bride. She goes into labor, I'm like, hey babe, I probably should have brought this up earlier, but No, hey, do you mind if we name our daughter after my first wife who died from alcohol poisoning? Set her up for success. My wife keeps a spreadsheet of all the mailing addresses of our friends and family. Every year we use those addresses to send out a Christmas card. We use it to send out thank you notes. Sometimes we use those addresses for driving directions. Found out recently my wife has had the address wrong for my cousin for at least 4 years. And we only found out because we showed up at that wrong address for a party. 100% sure. And the stranger who lived there was like, "Can I help you guys?" And it's like, dude, don't act like you don't recognize us from the several Christmas cards we've mailed to you, alright? We didn't send these to just anybody, man. My cousin doesn't even get these. But I like to think about that situation from that guy's perspective, because for us it's a comedy of errors, right? But for that man, it is a horror movie. Think about it, 4 years in a row he gets a creepy Christmas card from the same weird smiling family. Every year we're a little bit closer to the camera, like we're sneaking up on him. He must have to console himself every time he got one of these in the mail every year, just like, don't worry, I'm sure it's nothing sinister. It's not like they're just going to show up at your house one day. One of my wife's favorite hobbies is to get really, really stoned and then Google random shit on the internet and then tell me about it wrong. That's what I can think to put it. Like a while back, we're both on edibles, we're on the couch. I look over and see that for some reason she's found herself on the Wikipedia page for the song Cotton Eye Joe. 100% true story. She's scrolling through the list of versions of Cotton Eye Joe that have been released throughout the years, and she came to one that was released in 1942 by a man whose name is Adolf Hoffner. She's high as shit on edibles. She leans over to me, I swear to God, she goes, "You are not going to believe this. Hitler put out his own version of Cotton Eye Joe." And I was also stoned, but I was still like, no, he did not. Actually confident about that, babe. I don't have to look it up, you know. It's one of those facts I never knew I knew. Think about it. But I regret pushing back at all, looking back. Man, I wish I just let her file that away as a fun little trivia nugget. Yeah. We're at a dinner party, World War II comes up in conversation. My wife's like, you know, interesting fact about the Fuhrer. Also, my wife is half Jewish. She has a ton of Jewish family. It would just been a matter of time before I got to watch this woman publicly confront a DJ for playing Cotton Eye Joe at a bar mitzvah or something. Like, this is problematic, sir, okay? Learn the history. My favorite part, though, is, like I said, that version of the song was released in 1942. I don't know if that year sounds familiar to you guys, but it's like, babe, I think Hitler was kind of in the middle of something in 1942. I don't know that he would actually have a lot of free time to be laying down tracks in the studio. He's like, well, I've conquered Europe, and now it's time for me to conquer the charts. So, hey, you guys have a lot of fun. I'm going to give you back to charity. I hope you have a good night.